Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Lori Rubin. I'm with ViewBug and I've got Justin Reznick with me today. Hi Justin, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Great. Thanks for joining us today. I've been a fan of yours. You probably don't know that, but I've been following you for a while and I love your work. Just beautiful landscapes. So this is going to be a lot of fun today. We're going to take a look at some of Justin's images and he's going to talk about what he's looking for in the Painted Hills contest. What makes a winning image? But we're going to start out with Justin. We're going to see a few of his images, kind of pick his brain and see what he's looking for, and then he'll actually show you a little tip along the way as well. So I hope you'll just sit back and relax and enjoy this webinar here. So Justin, let's go ahead and start out. Let's talk a little bit about you. Now you are specifically focused on landscapes. Looks like some macro here as well. Tell us a little bit about your background, how you got started in photography.
I've been a professional for about 7 years now, and really nature, just being in nature, hiking and traveling has been the majority of my life. And photography, I kind of found this perfect pairing where I get to do my hikes and travel and have a career doing something I love. So photography just kind of became this natural transition for me to be able to do the things I love. And now it's all incorporated. So I get to travel, hike, and be a photographer. And so, it doesn't really feel like a job. So I'm very, very lucky in that regard. And also, I wanted to thank you very much for all those kind words in the introductions. And thank you for having me.
Oh, great. Well, let's take a look at some of Justin's work. So let's go ahead and take a look here. We're going to start out, Justin, with some of your galleries here. And folks, you should really check out his website, justinresnick.com. And we're in his gallery section here. We'll start out with a couple of your personal favorites and just have you talk about them. And for the Painted Hills, how about this one here? This is of the Palouse. And can you tell us a little bit about this particular image and why you think this is actually representative of Painted Hills?
I would love to. This image is called Velvet Hills and was taken from Steptoe Butte in the Palouse, which is located in eastern Washington. It's an amazing display of rolling hills with different crops. And so the reason you're seeing those variations of color is different crops are planted on those fields. What's really unique about the Palouse is the ability to bring out certain colors based on the light. And so what you're seeing here is very late light. So the sun's about to set, and it's just really striking across the landscape. And I'm shooting almost directly into the sun. And it actually takes browns and brings out purples. You can bring out purples and pinks and reds. And so the colors that you're able to bring out are just amazing. Now, the reason this image, I think, really typifies what I would think of as painted hills is that hills can be literally hills. They can also be mountains. They could be sand dunes. They can be different things. What I think is important is that you have a variation in elevation so that you have separation. So when I think of hills, I think of kind of the depth of them and having some sort of separation. So I think here you can clearly see the light shadow separation as well as the color separation.
Beautiful layers. Just absolutely gorgeous. Okay, so let's take a look at another one of yours. Okay, and here we've got a totally different type of landscape. Tell us a little bit about this one.
It's called the Tree Line. This was taken in the Nabi Nature Reserve in Namibia. Just a spectacular location. And what classifies this, I think, as Painted Hills is that we have very small undulations in the landscape where you just have this tiny little valley comes up into a sand dune. And so you have a little bit of separation, not a lot, but a little bit. And then you also have the colors, which really typifies the word painted for me. So the orange-red sand dunes go into the green, kind of the green brush, and back into the orange-red sand dune. So you're getting that separation of depth and separation of color.
That's great. I also notice, just in this particular image, it's pretty nice and sharp up here in the foreground, and you've got the kind of misty, faraway look of your mountains, so there's that nice perspective, again, in your images. Very nice. Okay, let's take a look at another section here, and this is by location, and I know you travel all around the world, and I would imagine one of your favorite places is probably Iceland. It seems to be a real popular location. So we're going to take a look at one of your images here. And this is gorgeous. Talk about painted hills. I think this just epitomizes that particular title. It's beautiful.
So this was taken in Landmannalaugar, which is a region of highlands of mountains within Iceland. So going into the interior just opens up a world of possibilities. And these, for me, are the most photogenic mountains I've ever experienced. And because of the different minerals, you get reds and blues and greens. And so the colors that you're able to pull out are just tremendous. So here we're seeing, instead of hills, we're seeing mountains. But we're seeing that again, separation. You can see the depth separation, and you're also getting the colors. So in the foreground, I have that really strong red, and in the mid and background, you're seeing a line of blues go throughout. So again, colors integrated into those mountains.
Yeah, just fabulous. Really nice. Okay, and how about we'll take a look at some of your new work here, and another location. Let's take a look at some sand dunes, for instance. Here's an image of yours, some beautiful sand dunes. Talk about this one.
So this is Blue Dunes, and this was taken in White Sands National Monument, New Mexico. And again, it's not hills literally, of course, it's sand dunes, but they basically give you that same premise of depth and separation. I'm shooting this directly into sunrise, and so the incredible light shadow that you see, the light just skims the top of each hill, and everything else is filled in with that deep shadow. And the shadow is represented in the color blue here, and the light is kind of a warm shade of white. And so you have this wonderful, simple blue-white contrast. So I really want to emphasize, painted hills doesn't mean you need 3 or 4 or 5 colors. It just means you need some sort of color separation, and it can be just 2. It can just be blue and white, like this example.
Great point. That's wonderful. Justin, when you're looking at all these images that you're going to be looking at and picking out your winning image, what is it specifically you're looking for? Is it texture? Is it light? Is it a combination of a bunch of things? Is there anything you can share with the viewers, what you're looking for specifically?
Absolutely. The first thing I'm going to look for is simplicity. I'm going to look at an image and make sure everything that's represented in the image should be there, and that there isn't anything there that shouldn't be. So the more simple and clean the image is, the more striking it is to me. Another thing I'm going to be looking for is balance. The image has to be incredibly well balanced. You don't want something heavy on one side or the other. And this is a challenge when you're photographing hills, is that you have to have balance. So having hills kind of come in from the left, come in from the right, and not feeling heavy weighted on either side is really important. So simplicity, balance. I'm going to be looking for depth. I like to experience a lot of depth in an image. I like to be kind of flow through the image and have interests from the foreground all the way to the background. So those are some key points I'm going to be looking for.
Fantastic. Okay, so now Justin is going to show us a couple tips in Lightroom and Photoshop. So I'm excited to see what you're going to show us, Justin.
Oh, I'm really excited to share a couple tips, and I've got a couple images I think will really help illustrate those points.
Great. Okay, so now you're in Lightroom. What are you going to show us here?
So we have the image Blue Dunes, which we just talked about a minute ago, and I want to show you kind of a cool new trick. This is brand new to the latest upgrade to Lightroom CC, and it's called the D Haze Tool. And oftentimes when you're shooting into the sun, which I do a lot, is you get kind of this hazy glow that minimizes the contrast. And so this tool is found in the effects grouping here in Develop. So if I go to the top, you've got to scroll down quite a bit till you get to effects. And what I'm going to do is slide the D Haze tool to the right, and you're going to see that contrast build back in. So it's a very powerful tool. So I'm excited about this new feature in Lightroom. The more robust Lightroom gets, the more it becomes a one-stop solution for editing. So I'm really excited about that. So that's something I really wanted to share, was the D Haze tool. Definitely check it out when you're processing your images of hills.
Great. Yeah, that's a super tool. Okay, and then next, I believe you're going into Photoshop?
Yeah, so we're going to do a quick Photoshop example. So this was an image taken from Steptoe Butte of the Palouse. We've got some wind turbines in the back. And I want to show you really the first thing I do when I go into Photoshop with every single image. It's a very simple adjustment, yet it's kind of hidden. So I'm going to show you where this is found. So we're going to open up a curves adjustment layer. So in this little icon, you get these shortcuts, and I'm going to click the curves, and it's going to bring up a brand new layer here. there's an auto button, but I don't want to just click the auto button. I want to hold down the Option or Alt key on my keyboard here. So I'm going to hold down Option, I'm using a Mac, and then click Auto. And what I'm going to get is a choice of 4 algorithms. And I'm going to go through and select each one of these to see how they influence my image. So I'm going to go number 1 here, 2, 3, and 4. And we're going to see very dramatic changes. And what's happening here is we're getting contrast built in, we're getting a slight white balance adjustment, we're getting a little bit of color, so there's quite a bit happening. So I'm going to select the 4th one, which is Enhance Brightness and Contrast, and hit OK, and do a before and after. And we can see a very dramatic effect, especially in the overall contrast, similar to the D Haze tool. So this is something I'm going to do in basically every image I process gets this strategy implemented to it.
That is a great tip. And, adding just that little extra contrast really adds more definition and more, defines those hills. So it's a really great tip. Thank you, Justin.
Yeah, my pleasure.
That was great, Justin. Thank you so much for those tips and also showing some of your wonderful images. Now, I know you do workshops, so let's talk a little bit about where people can find more information about you and your workshops. Looks like you have a listing here on your website.
I do. Yeah, I keep a complete listing of my workshops and availability on justinreznick.com. And, it's a passion. That's when I started being a professional, I said, let me use my background in teaching. I've been teaching my whole life, teaching and coaching, to mesh my passion for photography. So leading workshops and tours has just been a natural transition, and I've been really lucky to have success with it and a lot of exciting adventures ahead.
Oh, and you're hitting some of the most beautiful places too. So it's just marvelous. In Alaska as well. That's great. Okay, the other thing too is you have videos and ebooks, so if people want to learn a little bit more about some of your fantastic images, they can take a look here on your website. Looks like you've got some videos as well, some of your favorite places.
Yeah, I've been an author for lynda.com for about 2 years now, and it's just been a wonderful opportunity. Continuing to build courses with them. I just got back from Carpinteria, their headquarters, and just shot a course that's coming out in October. So it's a great relationship. I think they're a wonderful company to be partnered with, because they really put together professional videos, something I could certainly not do on my own. So having them really put together these quality videos has been a really lucky opportunity for me, and I'm really glad to be part of their business.
Great. Well, thank you, Justin, for sharing some of your tips and your images. Really appreciate it, and hope to see you again. And good luck, everyone, for entering the contest. And Justin, we look forward to seeing your winner. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much, Lauren.